Yeah, James Mueller, the Cougar. Kelvin, you've talked about just Jamal's confidence all year, and it seemed like it was at an all-time high tonight. Can you just talk about what he means to this team and just coming in to a big-time game like tonight and doing what he did?
Yeah, he's been doing that. He was kind of thrust into a major role early. He just had to get better. Jamal was 17 years old when he got to campus. So because of COVID, he's really a 19-year-old freshman. So he just had to grow with our team. We got thrown a curveball that we don't need to talk about that anymore. But we got thrown a curveball in late December, early January, and we just had to go and figure out who's going to do what. I think early in the conference season he struggled, but so did we. But we found ways to win. I think we started our conference off 9-0, but at no point in time that 9-0 did I think we were as good as we could be. We just had to kind of, just keep hitting the rock. But when Jamal started growing, he's, like most freshmen, he's up and he's down. He's up and he's down. But I thought having Kyler beside him, I thought was really important for him on the floor. Kyler's a veteran. He's a senior, true senior. Tajay, being an older guy. Fabian, being at Houston for a while and having played in a Final Four last year. He had some older guys around him to help nurture him. That was important. And then once he found his way, he got his wings, he started flying. But when we recruited Jamal, I thought he had great leadership skills. Extremely, extremely intelligent kid. So he's one of those kids should be an A student. I mean, straight A students. There's not one subject, whether it's math, biology, chemistry. He's a really, really good academician. But he's also tough. I can't say enough about Quantus White, my assistant coach. The job that he's done developing his shot was when he came here, he was a non-shooter. Just because you can make a shot doesn't make you a shooter. It means you can make a shot. He was a long way from being a shooter. Kyler was a good shooter. Jamal was not. But Coach Q has done a great job. He did it last year with Quentin Grimes, and he did it this year with Tajay and Jamal. So Jamal's grown up and this team has grown up with him.
All right, here in the front.
Brian Smith, Houston Chronicle. Kelvin, we always ask you about how tough your team plays, and obviously that's a trademark of what you've done for years, but how much did toughness play into a game like this where you're racking up fouls, you have several of your starters have 3 fouls, this game gets tight, and you guys just, as a team, find a way to win this and really dig in defensively to create offense?
Well, we actually just talked about that in the locker room, Brian. We were a long way from being anything. I thought tonight we were solid. We weren't good or really good. We were just, the guy that's been really good for us, Tajay Moore, was a non-factor. You had 21 against Illinois. Tonight, he's in the witness protection program. I couldn't find him, nowhere. When we put him in there, we had to take him right back out. And Ramon Walker, now he's a true freshman. I think he's still only 18. So he had to play more minutes than we would have liked. But Brian, good, bad, or indifferent, every team's known for something. All our teams are eventually get there. It's not always smooth sailing. We're not going to win a lot of beauty contests, but victories don't come with asterisks. It's not a beauty contest. I watched Arizona play. I watched them play UCLA. I watched them play Colorado. I watched the way those teams guarded them, and I knew we weren't going to guard them like those teams did. Those teams just switched them. They let them be comfortable. I knew we were going to make them uncomfortable. That's what we do. I knew their size would be a factor, but I didn't think their size was, if we did what our game plan called for, I didn't think the size was going to make us lose. But you know, our team is we're a tough bunch. We've gotten a lot better as the season goes on. But all the credit goes to these kids. You know, I can do whatever I want. You know, coach doesn't win games; players do. You know, I'm really proud of this bunch. They bought into the game plan tonight, and they're not afraid of anybody. You know, whether it's UAB or Illinois, Arizona, our next game is Villanova. We'll just move on to that one, and we'll do the best we can with that one.
Here in the center.
And Daniel Gutierrez, KHOU in Houston, for coach or the players, you kind of had a sense playing here that you would get a pretty good backing. How much did you guys just feed off the energy in this building once you guys started playing in your game the way you guys wanted to dictate the pace of this one?
Kyler, you want to start with that one?
Coach likes to call it the Petita South because we right here, you know, next to Houston. So I mean, we like how the crowd showed up today. You know, they brought all of the energy today. You know, it really helped us.
Yeah, the energy was just electric. You know, it was just awesome to have that type of crowd here. And you know, we're going deep in the playoffs, so called. But it was just electric out there.
You know, in the last round, Arizona beat TCU. And you could tell their crowd. And I've coached against Arizona a lot of years. Really, really good friend. And there's nobody I respect more in coaching than Lute Olson. You know, it's hard for me to think of Lute without thinking of Bobby. So I know what those Arizona fans are like. It's, you know, everybody tells us about an East Coast, West Coast. Well, there is an East Coast bias. You know, a lot of coaches won't say it, but I will. You know, people don't have no idea how hard it is to win at the McHale Center. I should know. I've never won there. But that's because they've been so good. But you look at that TCU game. That Arizona crowd had a lot to do with raising their kids' level of play. And I knew that Arizona fans would show up tonight because they're great fans. They have a great program. But I was proud of our fans tonight. Our fans are learning how. They had no idea when we started winning. They didn't understand what winning was. You know, we had to teach them. And now they're starting to catch on a little bit. Proud of them.
You're on the right.
Jeff Portello, ESPN. Kelvin, Arizona is one of the fastest, most free-flowing offenses in the country, and I know part of your MO is to, like you said, make teams uncomfortable. Was there anything specific that you focused on in the game plan to kind of take them out of their rhythm? Well,
we play, you know, the key to beating Arizona is controlling the pace. You know, we felt like if we could hold them in the 50s, and if we don't turn the ball over there at the end, we probably do hold them in the 50s. But 60, you know, we're going to win a game in the 60s. But we're not going to win the game in the 80s. You know, then if the game's in the 80s, then they're doing what they practice. You know, if the game's in the 50s and 60s, then that means our defense was really good. Now, we led our league in scoring. We're number 10 offensive team in the country. Efficiency-wise, we're a top 10 offensive team. So it's not like we don't have a good offense. It's that when you play a team like Illinois, who likes to run, or Arizona, who likes to run, Memphis likes to run, those are three really good teams. But in order for us to beat them, we have to figure out how we're going to win the game. So, you know, we're physical. You know, the start of the first half, start of the second half, you can tell the adjustment that Tommy made, you know, with those slip screens and the quick rolls, and they were getting them. And then we just turned around and said, okay, if you're going to do that, then we'll do this. So instead of chasing them over the screen, we went under the screen, and that completely took the roller away. You know, what Arizona's good at is the roll, and then Tabalis is such a good passer. But by going under the screen, we took his passing away, and we forced him to be a scorer. So part of our game plan is we wanted Tabalis to have to score the ball, not pass it. And we kept him in check the first half. Second half, they started, instead of setting the screen, we call them ghost or burn screens. They ghost, and they were hitting the pocket pass, and then they were hitting us they got us a couple times, and then we came back and said, okay, here's how we're going to guard that. And then once we our kids started going under those screens, now we kept the ball in front of us. So our pick and roll coverage was good on the sides. Matherin hit some tough shots, but those were tough shots. And as good an offensive rebounding team as we are, and we're really good, I thought Arizona was better. I thought Arizona was a better offensive rebounding team than us tonight. I thought that was their best offense, their offensive rebounding.
We got time
They're good at that.
Time for one more question, guys. Adam, right here.
Adam Winkler with ABC 13 out of Houston for Kyler and Jamal. You just heard Coach say that you're not afraid of anybody. Kyler, we talked to you yesterday. You said you guys kind of feel like underdogs and have since December. You never trailed against the #1 seed. What did the flow of the game feel like, and maybe what kind of statement did you guys make out there?
You know, just our attitude towards the game. You know, once we come out of the locker room, we feel like we're supposed to be here at all times. You know, we're always feeling like we're the toughest team out there, and you know, we always try to play like it. You know, we always have each other's back, and then I think that's just the most important thing right there. You know, we can't be scared of anybody if we all are together and just trying to go at it all the time.
Yeah, I say we try to control their runs as best as we could, and the best thing they did was watching the game was fast breaks, and they only had 9 fast break points. So I mean, credit to the coaches, you know, getting us ready for this game, and you know, just being together and being the toughest team pulled us through.